Good afternoon, folks. Today I'm preparing the Bangalore type of biryani. Of course, I'm a pure Bangalorean, directly from Bangalore. So I'm going to prepare a Bangalore type of biryani. The first step in trying to prepare the Bangalore type of biryani would be to cut the onions as thin as possible, slice it as thin as possible. Approximately, I would be preparing a kg of rice and 1.5 kgs of mutton. The preparation time is approximately an hour and a half. So let's start off with the cutting of the onion, which is the worst part of preparing anything, because you're virtually in tears when you try to cut the onion. Okay, here goes. Okay, the onions have been cut into thin slices. I have taken approximately 4 medium-sized onions, and they have been cut into thin slices. If you can have a look at it, this is the size, as thin as possible. That would be the first step. I have added approximately 250 grams of oil, 250 liters or grams, whatever you prefer to call it, in this cooker. Now to this I will be adding the rest of the stuff. Okay, the oil is heating up beautifully. To this I will add the elaichi, then cloves, if you can see that, and the most important part, cinnamon, which is a very important ingredient. You can add as much as you want, but don't make it too much, because it gives a bad taste to the biryani. So keep it low. Now to this mixture I'm going to add the onions. At this point you can start smelling the onions, the frying of the onions. Frying of the onions. Now let the onions fry for some time until they are golden brown. I'm going to now soak the rice. In order to make it more enterprising, I'm going to use 2 different types of rice. 2 glasses of basmati, glasses of basmati. Now I will soak this basmati for a longer period. The other rice which I am going to use, I will not soak it for a longer period because that boils faster. So I will keep this, I will pour water, soak it and keep it aside for some time. The onion is brown, golden brown, beautiful color. Trying to separate the cinnamon and put it back in the oil. That will give a good catch to the meat as much as possible. That's done. Now can you have a look? I'm going to keep this aside. The next step that I'll be doing is I'll shift the stove to a lower flame stove so that the cooking is even. Now I'm going to add mint leaf. I'm going to add mint leaf to the oil. This will increase the taste. Also, it will help act as a digestive for the biryani. So this, I'm going to add the ginger paste first, approximately 6 teaspoons to make it spicy. And 7 teaspoons. Gives more taste and spices. Into this, I'll add the garlic paste. Tablespoons, and the ginger also 7 tablespoons. Mix it well. I'm going to fry this mixture for a couple of minutes so that the water in the ginger and garlic paste gets dried out and it leaves also a good smell. To this, I will add the chili paste. Depends on how spicy you want to make it. I'm adding approximately 3.5 spoons of paste. Salt to taste. I'm adding the rock salt, the big one. Gives me good control over the taste. There you see. You can see the water, the ginger garlic paste drying out, the water evaporating. I will now add the mutton one by one. The mutton I have already washed it. Around this part of the world, the mutton is very tender. You can see that, cut out into big pieces. Stir it. Now this paste, this mixture, you let it cook for some time, say approximately 10 to 15 minutes. Around this part of the world, as I said, the mutton is tender, so using the cooker is not very essential, but still I am going to use the cooker with 2 whistles. Let's leave the mixture cooking for 5 minutes now. You have to keep stirring this mixture for some time, otherwise the ginger garlic paste gets stuck in the bottom. Actually folks, I'm not a cook, I'm not a chef, therefore the terminology I might use is of course not the terminology of a chef, otherwise they would refer to frying the onions and as saute. But anyway, the end result is what counts. You have a good meal, that's what matters. And hopefully, I've tried this before of course, therefore the meal has come out very well. Of course my kids like it a lot. Around this part of the world, of course I'm not in my home country. These are the good things that we do. and I love to prepare the biryani. It's a passion, therefore I do it with a lot of great interest. Okay, if you see, I've been stirring it. Now if you can see, the oil has come out on top. What I would be doing now is I would be reducing the flame so that the oil comes up and I can drain out the oil from this mixture. Once the oil is drained out, there are other things that I would be adding, which I'll be showing you subsequently. Now I put this in simmer. If you can see, the oil is just coming up. Now I will try to simmer it a bit more. So the oil comes up and I can drain it out. There you go. Let's simmer for some time until I prepare the other stuff. There you see, the oil has come out on top. I'm going to drain this oil out now in a container and keep it aside. Got to be very careful with this. If you can have a look, it's come out beautifully. What I'm going to do with this is, of course, something which I'll tell you later. Excess oil. It's not excess oil. Try to drain out everything. There you go. That's the oil. And here we have a pure mixture. To this, I will add some buttermilk or curds. This is how much? 250 grams, is it? This is 400 grams. I'll drain out half of it into this cooker. Keep it aside. Pull it up. The key is to be as neat as possible so that you don't dirty the kitchen. Once you dirty the kitchen, the next time it's very difficult to prepare it, because your wife won't allow you to go inside the kitchen at all. So try to make it as neat as possible. There you go. This is the mixture. Let it simmer for a couple of minutes, where I'll be adding the rest of the stuff. I'm adding around 7 green chilies. I'll not cut it, just put it whole by just removing the connector. There you go. Oops. The idea is not to cut it, so that the entire spiciness of the mixture does not come in. Next thing we shall be adding is some coriander leaves. I have chopped it, I have washed it and chopped it neatly. So I'm going to add some of this, as much as you can manage, because I don't have a measurement, but I would say at least 3/4 of a normal bunch that you get in the market. To this mixture, I'm going to add a few tomatoes. It's not necessary that we cut it in a proper format, proper pieces. You can cut it as you like. Some people cut it in cubes and keep it, and I don't want to have all that. Okay, now I'm adding the onion, the tomatoes. I've taken three tomatoes. So let me just check it first. I guess these are enough because I've taken big tomatoes. So it's 2.5 tomatoes. There you see. Okay. Now let me taste it for salt, and if it's necessary, maybe I'll add some. Some more salt. I've added some more salt. The stove is on a simmer. I haven't pushed it up to the full speed. I'm going to add some lime juice. I've taken 3 limes. I'm going to add it. This gives a good pungent taste. So I've added the lime juice, 3 of them. It gives a pungent taste. Now what do we do next? You can see what they call in Bangalore for this is akhni. Call this mixture is called akhni. I'll add. Shame to see this wasted, so I'll just add this half of the tomato that was left out. There you go. Increase the gas. Let it cook for a minute. Before closing the cooker, I'll add some water so that the mixture doesn't stick to the bottom of the cooker. People who are used to using the cooker know that it's always advisable to add some water before closing the cooker. I would be adding a glass of water. This is the size of the glass. A glass of the water, half a glass I would say. It's not a big size glass, it's a small size glass. So I'll be adding one full. I have already added it. Half a glass more. Okay. Now I'll be closing the cooker, and since the meat is tender, I will keep it for 2 whistles only, There is a reason for that. I will tell you that as we go on. On another stove, I am boiling water so that I can mix the rice. To this water I have added some salt to taste so that the rice also gets some salt. It should not be very salty, so be careful about all this. On the other side, if you see the cooker, it is just beginning to give whistles now, but we'll keep to. On one side we'll boil this, and the next thing that we will do is we will add the other rice to the water. There you go. This is, in this part of the world, is called a zira rice or ghee rice or whatever you prefer to call it. It's much smaller in size. It gives a good flavor and taste to the biryani. I'll add 2 of this only. This rice boils very quickly. That's the reason I'm not soaking it for a longer period. The other rice, yes, of course you need to soak it for a longer period. Okay, I have now boiled the water and it's come to a boil. So I'm going to put this rice in the boiling water and heat it for a couple of minutes before adding the gravy which I have prepared in the cooker to this mixture. Alright, we have done this and we are adding the water, we are adding the rice. Empty the rest of the rice in this. Stir it so that the rice doesn't stick to each other. Let the rice boil for a couple of minutes. Rice and drained out the water. Now to this I will mix the onions which I had sauteed before, a bit of it. Remove the gas, turn on the steam from the cooker. steam has fully come out. I'm opening the cooker. This I'll mix with the rice. Mix it and pour the rest of the rice on top. Mix the rest of the onion. Oil, which I had removed earlier, I'm going to add it on top like this. Now, cover this mixture with a thumb of oil. And keep it on the stove. Simmering. There you go. Let it simmer for 15 to 20 minutes. And after that, your biryani is ready to be served. Okay, the biryani is ready. I kept it for 20 minutes in low gas, low flame, and now it's ready. You need to serve it hot. You can serve it with the raita, the chutney. This is also Bangalore type of chutney. Thank you.